Hey, thanks for tuning in today. I just wanted to give a little bit of update on the real estate stats. And not a lot of change from October to November for Wisconsin housing stats. December always tends to be a tad bit quiet. I like to call December prep mode, December and January even, prep mode for people who are thinking about putting their homes on the market. And honestly, this is the time of year, even though we got holidays coming, that is the best time because you are going to decorate for the holiday, but then when you put your stuff away, you want to be doing it with purpose as you're packing things up, thinking about if I'm going to sell this year, am I taking all this? So anyway, if you know anybody, if you or someone you know, I guess I'll say, is thinking about a sale in 2024, reach out to me now because this is the time of year that we just do consultations, just and educate about the market because timing is everything. I think you've heard me say that a few times. So the other thing I wanted to talk about real quick, there's a lot of talk in the media about the class action lawsuit between the National Association of Realtors and around the Real Estate Commission. So there's two different suits that are being brought forward. Quite frankly, I'm not going to go into all the details because it's far too much to go into in this video. And really, if you want to talk more specifically, I'd be happy to share more. But the gist of it, I did want to educate you a little bit and kind of just give you a couple things to think about or perspective. And in my business, they always say, don't talk about politics and religion. So I'm kind of crossing the line a little bit because jumping into this, and I'm not the expert, right? I am the expert on what I do, but I can only interpret what I've heard and share a little bit of perspective. So one of the things they're talking about changing is the commission model. And, I'm going to give you an example of a real life situation and conversation that I had recently with a new client who we do a consultation when somebody's looking to buy. And, the talk about that lawsuit did come up. And the question was, if 3-5 years down the road, if this all goes through appeals and passes, how could this affect, a buyer? So if buyers were responsible for commissions, in our state, we always have representation, seller representation and buyer representation. And if a buyer were responsible for the commission, how would that impact their ability to buy? And this particular client, as we talked about the different costs that could be involved with his loan, down payment, escrow, closing costs, prepaids, if he had to put commission on top of this, it probably would not occur. And so how can that affect, and is it really the right decision to change a model that works quite well for the consumers and is very transparent? And in our state, I'll again talk about the transparency because that is part of what had come up. And we have a listing contract when we list a home and a buyer agency agreement when we represent a buyer. And on page 1 of both of those contracts, it talks about how commission is split and responsibilities. So I've been doing real estate for 18 years. I've been an accredited buyer agent for, I think, 16 years because I saw the value of representing a client in that capacity and wanted to get educated on it more. And so I have that accreditation. I've been a member of that organization for a very long time. And I think that representation should not go away. And that's another thing that's being talked about as well. So anyway, just if you want to talk further, get with me one-on-one, and I'd be happy to. Thanks for tuning in.